Welcome everyone. In the previous class we have seen the basic structure of a stamen, that is each stamen, that is usually the stamens are, that is a structure, male reproductive structures. So that will be having two parts, that is tube like structure which is nothing, which is filament, and a head like structure, that is anther. Each anther is bilobed. Each anther is bilobed, and inside each lobe we find two sac like structures, which are called as microsporangia, So the structure of anther, it is here, this one. We will talk about this anther. So each anther has two lobes. For example, this is one lobe and this is another lobe. Each anther has two lobes, that is bilobed anther. Okay, and inside each lobe we find two sac like structures. In this lobe two sac like structures, and in this lobe two sac like structures are present. So these sac like structures are called as microsporangia. So this is a bilobed anther. In between these two, that is lobes, here a sterile tissue will be present. A sterile means it won't be helping in reproduction. A sterile tissue will be present. So this sterile tissue is nothing but a connection between these two lobes. Okay, so this sterile tissue is called as connective. Sterile tissue is called as connective. This is sterile tissue. It won't be helping in reproduction. It won't be helping in the process of reproduction. So here each anther has two lobes. This is one lobe and this is another lobe, and inside each lobe two sac like structures are present. These are called as microsporangia. Okay, and these two are separated or connected with the help of a sterile tissue which is called as connective. Okay, and this one, this area from where the sac, from here till this wall. Okay, so this area is called as anther wall. I'll write it here. This area from here till here, this area is called as anther wall. It is called as anther wall. So anther, the wall of anther consists of four different layers. That is, this is also wall, this is wall, this wall, the space between this outer, that is cover, this outer layer, and this microsporangia, the space between this is called as anther wall. Okay, and in this space, that is, which is nothing but anther wall, we will see four different layers. That is, each anther wall, consists of four layers. It consists of four layers. The first one is epithelium. Second is endothecium. Third is middle layer, and the fourth is tapetum. Each, that is, anther wall consists of four layers. We find four different layers in this anther wall. Okay, anther wall will be consisting of four different layers. So if I draw this like this, so this is the 1, 2, 3, and that is four different layers will be present. So that four layers, that is epithelium, the second one is endothecium, and the third one is middle layer, and the fourth is tapetum. Four different layers will be present. So now coming to this, the first layer which is called as epithelium, it is consisting of single layer of flat cells. It consists of single layer of flat cells. So only one layer. It consists of single layer of flat cells like this. So it consists of, this is the first layer from outside. If we see from outside, from this side, so here this is the first layer, which is nothing but epithelium, and this epithelium consists of single layer of flat cells. It consists of single layer of flat cells. Before we move on, remember this is very important answer. This is very important long answer. The layers of different layers of this one, the structure of microsporangium, which consists of, that is the anther wall consists of four walls. This is very important answer, long answer. So listen it very carefully. It is easy. Listen it very carefully and remember this answer. Okay. So this one, the first layer, which is nothing but epithelium. So it consists of single layer of flat cells. Single layer of flat cells. So it will be covering this whole single layer of flat cells, that is epithelium. And as it is epithelium, the function of this is to give protection. It gives protection. It gives protection to the anther. Okay, so this is the first layer. Now moving on to the second layer, which is called as endothecium. The second layer is called as endothecium. This endothecium is made up of compactly arranged radial cells. So radially arranged the cells are a single layer of radial cells. They are very compactly arranged. They are very compactly arranged like this. This is the second layer. So it is also a single layer. It consists of radially arranged radial cells. It consists of radial cells, which are, that is single layer, a single layer of radial cells, and these are compactly arranged. Compactly arranged. So this is the second layer, which is endothecium, which is made up of a single layer of radial cells, which are very compactly, very tightly that is arranged. So this is the second layer. And so this one, the next comes as the middle layer, which is the third layer. So middle layer consists of 3 to 4 layers of parenchymatous cells. 3 to 4 layers of parenchymatous cells. This is one layer like this. This is the second layer. This is the second layer. This is the third one. So this middle layer consists of 3 to 4 layers of parenchymatous cells. 3 to 4 layers of parenchymatous cells. The outer one, single layer, okay, made up of flat cells. The second one is also a single layer. These are radial cells compactly arranged. So they secrete, that is, these are fibrous. They secrete callose. Here this endothecium, they have callose thickenings. Callose thickenings. These cells, these radially arranged cells, they have callose thickenings. So which becomes very fibrous. Which becomes fibrous as it matures. So these radial arranged cells, they have callose thickenings. on the walls, callose thickenings on the walls, and as anther matures, now these thickenings will become fibrous. It will become fibrous. So because of this fibrous nature, this anther will become very rigid, very strong. We cannot, it is not breakable. So it becomes very fibrous because of this callose thickenings, and it cannot be broken. This one, when it matures, when it becomes fibrous, now this cannot be broken. So this is the second layer, which is endothecium, which consists of radial cells which are compactly arranged and they have callose thickenings. Then the third layer with the red one, the third layer. So this third layer consists of 3 to 4 layers of parenchymatous cells. So this is the first, second, third, like the 3 to 4 layers of parenchymatous cells. So these together make the third layer, which is called as middle layer. These 3 to 4 arranged, that is the cells arranged in 3 to 4 rows. The parenchymatous cells arranged in 3 to 4 rows together makes the middle layer of anther wall. It makes the middle layer of anther wall. Now all these three together, this epithelium, endothecium and middle layer, all these three layers together, they help in the dehiscence of anther. They help in dehiscence of anther. Epithelium, endothecium and middle layer, all three of them, the major function of all three of them together, they help in dehiscence of anther. They help in dehiscence of anther. Now coming to this fourth layer, which is called as tapetum. This fourth layer, the cells are pyramidal. The cells are pyramidal. So here when compared to this, we find this pyramid like cells. A single layer of pyramid like cells will be present. So which will be the So this is the fourth layer, that is the tapetum layer, the tapetum. This is the fourth layer which is called as tapetum. So this is made up of a single layer of pyramidal shaped pyramidal shaped cells which are present in single layer. Pyramidal shaped cells present in single layer. So this is the fourth layer which is called as tapetum. The function of tapetum, here in this tapetum now, the cells in this tapetum, they are multinucleated. They are multinucleated. Usually cells will be consisting of one nucleus. Usually the cell will consist of one nucleus, but here in this tapetal cells we find more than one nucleus. We find more than one nucleus. So here in tapetum, the cells are pyramidal in shape. A single layer of pyramidal shaped cells will be present. The cells are dense in cytoplasm. The cells are dense, that is thick cytoplasm is present inside the cells, and the cells are multinucleated. The cells are multinucleated, means inside a cell more than one nucleus will be present. Usually in each cell one nucleus, the most common thing which we found, that is most common type, in a cell one nucleus will be present, but here in these tapetal cells the cytoplasm is thick. They are pyramidal shaped cells, single layer of pyramidal shaped cells, and they have dense cytoplasm, very thick cytoplasm will be present, and it is multinucleated. The cells inside this pyramidal shape, the cells have that is many nucleus. The cells are multinucleated. Now we have seen what are the functions of these three layers. Let us see the function of this tapetum. As it has dense cytoplasm, so it is nutritive in nature. So the major function of tapetum, it provides nutrient to developing microsporangium. I said these four sac-like structures, these are called as microsporangium. So they will be providing nutrients to the developing microsporangium. This microsporangium will develop, and after development, when anther matures, this microsporangium is called as pollen sac. So further development will be taking place inside it. So for further development of this microsporangium, nutrition is required, because without nutrition development cannot be seen. So for this development of this microsporangium, these new tapetal cells are having thick cytoplasm, which provides the nutrient to this developing microsporangium. It provides nucleus to this developing microsporangium. Apart from this, it also helps in producing a substance called as sporopollenin. It also helps in production of a substance which is called as sporopollenin. Sporopollenin is a substance which is very tough, very resistant substance, very tough, very resistant, unbreakable substance. It is in the whole world, it is one of the most tough, most resistant substance in the whole world as of now. So it produces, this tapetal cells helps in the production of sporopollenin. So sporopollenin is a very resistant substance. So this form, this sporopollenin, that is as soon as this pollen, that is anther matures, pollen grains, that is pollens, it changes into pollen sacs. Inside this pollen sacs, pollen grain will be present. So it covers, it forms a layer on pollen grains. You will see this, but as of now it produces a substance called as sporopollenin, which will be covered on the pollen, which is nothing but the sporopollenin makes the covering on the outer cover of the pollen grain. So it is a nutritive tissue, as it is dense in cytoplasm, it has nutrients, so it will provide the nutrient to this growing developing microsporangium. It also helps in the production of sporopollenin, which forms a layer, a protective layer on the pollen grains, and it also releases an enzyme which is called as callase. It also releases an enzyme which is called as callase. This callase help in digesting this I said callose thickenings will be seen. So we will see the further, when we see the further development, we will be able to understand how this, it produces callase. I'll write here, it produces callase enzyme. It produces callase enzyme. How this enzyme helps, we will see when we see this development, which will be in the next session, we will see it. So here, as of now, these are the four layers, and inside this microsporangium many cells will be present. Inside the microsporangium many cells will be present, which are very closely packed. Closely packed cells will be present. Inside each microsporangium is filled with closely packed cells. These cells are called as sporogenous cells. These cells that is inside the microsporangium space is present now. The space is filled with cells which are very tightly packed with each other, and these cells are called as sporogenous cells. So here this one will be this is the tapetal cell, tapetum. Okay, this will be your middle layer. This one, the blue one, this will be the endothecium, and this the last one, this one, the one with the red, this is the epithelial cells, epithelium. So this was about the that is 4 different walls of anther. Each anther is a bilobe structure. That is, each anther will be having 4 sac-like structures which are called as microsporangia. These ones, I'll write, these are nothing but microsporangia. Okay, and between these 2 lobes a tissue will be, a sterile tissue is present which is called as the connective. So these are the 4 different layers of anthers. So you find this total here also, here also, here also. This, no, it is not just present at this place, it will be covering whole. So like this whole layer of epithelial cells. Then we have this one. So I am just drawing it here. So this whole will be covered, this anther wall. Here also we find this, this is the epithelium. Then we have this radial cells which are nothing but endothecium. Then we have this middle cells, that is 3 to 4 rows of middle parenchymatous cells which are called as middle layer. Then we have this 4th layer which is nothing but tapetal cells, pyramidal cells which is nothing but tapeta. So like this it will cover this whole anther. So this was the transfer, this is actually the transfer section of anther. This is when we cut the anther, you will see structures like this. So this is the transfer section of anther, and each anther, that is space between this anther wall and this microsporangium, there is, that is called as anther wall, which will be consisting of 4 layers. So this is a very important answer. If you didn't understand, see the video again, you will be understanding it, and learn very properly this answer. It is a very important long answer. Okay, so now we have seen this, structures are present inside this microsporangium, the cells are present inside this microsporangium, which we call it as sporogenous cells. Okay, now we will see how further development will take place inside it in the next lesson, next video.